From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
Those who rob our citizens of their futures must be held accountable.
A new plan to help stop the gun violence plaguing Indianapolis, why the federal government is now getting involved.
And rain chances are low for the weekend, but where they're most likely.
This would have been helpful in March, April, May.
The state launches its new nursing home dashboard. WRTV Investigates is digging into why it could have happened sooner.
Fast Friday at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The speeds of the Indy cars kicked up a notch. Sports director Dave First and driver analyst Tony Kanaan join us trackside.
And thank you for joining us on WRTV News at 6. Happy Friday to you. I'm Amanda Starrentino.
A happy Friday. I'm Mark Mullins. First tonight at 6 o'clock. We have some pretty good weather on this Friday evening. Some clouds, but the sun is still shining through. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking what's in store for Friday night and on into the weekend. Kevin.
You guys have hit it hard. It is the end of the week, and we're rolling into the weekend. All in all, I think you'll like the weekend forecast. Yesterday, we hit 88. Today, 87, the high temperature in Indianapolis. Temperature's just a little bit cooler than that right now. As you look at current conditions around the region, 86 in the metro area, Kokomo at 85, Bloomington, depending on the cloud cover, impacts your temperature. Bloomington's at 84, and that's where the thunderstorms have been to the south and west, south of Bloomington, south of Bloomfield, and rolling across Vincennes. Most of central Indiana is going to be dry tonight. As far as the evening planner, by the time we get to 10 o'clock, 77 degrees. I'll focus on where tomorrow our best chance of thunderstorms will pop up and what changes stick around for most of next week coming up.
Thanks, Kev. See you soon. Local law enforcement is getting a major boost from the feds as they work to curb gun violence in Indianapolis. A partnership with the U.S. Department of Justice was just announced today. It's part of an ongoing effort in various cities across the country called Operation Legend. Megan Singh-Torm explains how it works and the change one family hopes it brings.
Homicides are currently up 51% in Indianapolis. That's according to the U.S. Department of Justice. So now they're teaming up with local law enforcement to change that trend and crack down on gun violence. It's a scene that keeps playing out over and over again.
See every day where, there's different people dying down there, to children, adults. And it just seems like a lot of careless acts.
And a scene this mom will never forget.
No, I didn't even imagine that, happening. It's just, it's like a nightmare.
Nikki Cope's 16-year-old daughter, Naya, was killed by what police call a stray bullet. 3 months later, the case remains unsolved.
You think every day, like, who did this? Why?
Now, a major boost for law enforcement as they work on her case and so many others. The ATF, FBI, DEA, and U.S. Marshals will all be dedicating resources here in Indy. More than 50 federal investigators will be working with the police department for the next 45 days. Those who commit violent crime in that time frame could face federal charges and harsher consequences. Officials say they won't go easy on anyone.
Many times, defendants will come after being charged in federal court and ask for mercy, ask for a break, ask for an exception. These are reasonable requests. I am unreasonable to those requests. There are no exceptions.
Officials say curbing violence will take a shift in both hearts and minds. And this is just one piece of the puzzle.
None of us believe that criminal justice system alone will reduce gun violence. Simply put, we cannot just arrest our way out of this.
But some families say they still hope it makes a difference.
And I hope they get a lot of the cases solved. I hope they, get more guns off the street. And, calm down the violence there.
As always, anyone with information on Naya Cope's case is asked to call Crime Stoppers. Working for you, Megan Singh-Torm, WRTV.
Not everyone is on board with Operation Legend. Indy 10 Black Lives Matter released a statement saying in part that the operation targets Black and brown communities and that it will overwhelm already vulnerable families. And right now, the Indiana Department of Homeland Security is trying to track down several people to question them about an arson downtown. Investigators want to speak with the people pictured here about what they know regarding the fire set at the T-Mobile store on West Washington Street on May 30th. That is one of the nights of intense and sometimes violent protests downtown. The Indiana Department of Homeland Security says camera footage shows people detonating explosive devices, which investigators say had the potential to destroy the T-Mobile store and injure the residents above that location. If you have any info, call the Indiana Arson Hotline at 1-800-382-4628. And new data reveals an increase in new COVID-19 cases in Indiana, but there is also a decrease in deaths. The State Department of Health reports 1,079 new cases of COVID-19. That is 33 more new cases than yesterday. There are also 8 newly reported deaths. That's down from 20 newly reported deaths yesterday. In total, 78,632 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the coronavirus since the start of the pandemic. And in that same time, 2,906 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. More than 886,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the virus. 8.9% of them tested positive for it. And for months, WRTV Investigates has been asking state leaders about COVID-19's impact on our most vulnerable residents. And the state health department just launched a new public dashboard keeping track of COVID-19 cases and deaths inside of nursing homes. This comes after months of the state citing privacy concerns as a reason not to share the numbers with the public. But things changed when our Kara Kenny got involved. She joins us now with how the dashboard works and why some say it should have happened sooner.
The state's COVID-19 long-term care dashboard is now live on the state's website. You can access it through your phone or through your laptop. It's a great tool if you have a loved one in a nursing home or you're looking for a facility and want to know their COVID-19 status. Charles England, Martha McCullough, and Everett Brown are among the 1,700 residents who have died from COVID-19 at Indiana's long-term care facilities. They all died in May at Ben-Hur, when the state was not revealing to the public where people were dying in nursing homes and where outbreaks were happening. But after months of pressure from WRTV Investigates, lawmakers, and AARP Indiana, this week the state released this long-term care dashboard. It allows you to search by facility. So, for example, put in Ben-Hur. You'll see that they've had no new COVID-19 cases or deaths and have had 18 deaths total. The dashboard allows you to see most of the positive cases date back to April. You can also look at demographics. So at Ben-Hur, the bulk of cases have been female and age 80 and up. Seema Mohapatra is a healthcare expert and professor at IU McKinney School of Law.
I kind of played around with it. It's very easy to use. It's used, you don't have to be an expert. It's made for the general public. So kudos for getting this on there. I think this is a great effort.
For months, the state refused to provide this level of detail to WRTV Investigates, citing privacy concerns.
Well, here it is. It was able to be disclosed all along. I really think that, your efforts and the efforts of other media was really important here.
The dashboard also includes a map allowing you to search for facilities in your area.
I definitely think that now that we're up over 60% of COVID-19 related deaths happening in a long-term care facility, we need to continue to pay close attention to this data, because now we're finally getting a more accurate picture of what's happening.
The dashboard's data goes back to March 1st. It will be updated every Wednesday after the state verifies numbers submitted by nursing homes.
Hopefully this will remain in place for future, any kind of infectious disease outbreaks and any kind of concerns, that they have a model already, so it won't take as long, hopefully, and we'll have this kind of reporting, because this information is really important for the general public.
Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
And state officials say it's possible a case may be included at multiple facilities, such as if someone worked at several nursing homes or a resident was at multiple facilities. However, the state emphasizes each case and death is counted only once in the aggregate state totals. Now, we created a link on how to get to this dashboard in this story on WRTV.com.
If the zip and the roar of the cars of the track at IMS today seem a bit louder, that's because the fastest cars on the planet were even faster. And that's why they call it Fast Friday. We go trackside now with WRTV Sports Director Dave First, who was there for all of the action today. Quite a day, Dave.
Yeah, busy day. Thankfully, the rain held off as well. Fast Friday, here's what happens. They turn up the boost on these engines. So more horsepower, faster speeds. We saw all of that, although if you're a Chevy driver, you're hoping that your speed was a little quicker because the Chevys versus the Honda would definitely advantage Honda today. Show you what happened to some of these guys. That includes, of course, Joseph Newgarden, the reigning NTT IndyCar Series champion. I mean, a lot of the drivers lined up early today, took their time going out these mock qualifying runs. Remember, it's a 4-lap average this weekend. And while the Honda-powered cars turned some big speeds, you could tell early on Chevy just weren't keeping up. Keep in mind, Wednesday and Thursday, they looked just fine. Part of a very tight field, top 29 cars, all within a second, really. But qualifying this weekend, it's going to be a chore for these guys. In fact, Honda had the top 9 fastest speeds today. And if that holds up tomorrow, none of the Chevy guys will have a shot at Sunday's Fast 9. And certainly none will have a shot at pole position. Where are the Hondas versus the Chevys, you think, when it comes to qualifying? Right?
It looks like the Hondas are a bit quicker right now. We'll see. We just made a few adjustments, but yeah, they're stacks at the front there.
I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, the cars have been really sketchy to drive so far for us. So I think the speeds are high, yeah, but it's also it's tough. I think the added weight of the aero screen is causing a big fall off in the tire as well. So it'll be more like who can be the most consistent.
Marco Andretti had the quickest speed, 233 miles an hour. His teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay, quickest without a toe. We'll hear from Ryan coming up a little bit later in trackside. For now, Dave First reporting live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
We'll see you then, Dave. Thank you. A new park in an area often highlighted for its crime. And it's not just about a place for kids to play. The message one local leader hopes this sends.
Temperatures climb quickly during the day tomorrow, back into the middle to upper 80s. The pattern change, though, on the horizon.
Tonight, there is a new symbol on the far northeast side, and a local leader hopes that it shows kids in the community that someone cares.
WRTV's Nicole Griffin reports a new playground is part of the continued effort to repair and revitalize a community that is often talked about because of poverty and crime.
This brand new park here at the corner of 42nd and Post Road is called the D. Ross Community Park. It's named after the Ross Foundation's leader, a man who grew up right here on the far northeast side. He says this park symbolizes hope for this community.
No child should go growing up without a playground.
In a community he loves and focuses on improving daily, a park is now named after D. Ross.
If I could change my life around and rise above the occasion, my circumstances, if I could do it, you can too.
He hopes this is not only a safe place for kids to be kids, but he wants the park to encourage others to get involved in improving the area.
We have to get some morals and principles and character back into our community and say, hey, we stand by this, we stand against this.
It's a good thing because I grew up in a drug and gang environment. To create an outside environment for kids will allow kids to stay kids, even though they face stuff in their households. They can come outside and find an escape.
The park is located at Capital City Church of Christ. Building and funding it has been a collaborative effort between JD Finish Line Youth Foundation, nonprofit Kaboom, the Ross Foundation, and the Community Alliance on the Far East Side.
The community has felt forgotten about for quite some time, so it's nice to be able to see a lot of partners and projects coming together to make something happen.
This just shows that we care. That's the biggest message it sends to the youth, to our community, is that we care about our community.
Ross says ultimately it's a symbol of hope for a hopeless community. He says it serves as another step toward rebuilding and beautifying the area and making it a safer place to live. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
We've ended the work week on a warm, dry day for most of us. As we step into the weekend, you see both Saturday and Sunday, rain chances relatively low. I would say Saturday evening, Saturday night in the western portion of the state, especially say Lafayette to Peru Northwest, a little better chance for a thunderstorm there. Otherwise, we're dry into early next week. The squiggly line goes down. That means our humidity will be dropping. Starting Sunday afternoon, the humidity starts to slide and continues into early next week. Mild conditions with temperatures struggling to get to 80 degrees. That's the forecast that'll go into the middle of next week. Enjoy some morning low temperatures in the 50s. This evening, next couple of hours, low rain chances. As we mentioned, Saturday and Sunday, still that lingering chance of a thunderstorm ahead of a cold front, and then we've got the pleasant change waiting for us on Monday. The area of thunderstorms now in Knox County about ready to cross the Wabash. It's actually going back to the west, an unusual direction, but will be leaving the state going into Illinois. As you can see, temperatures now in the mid-80s, most locations. Light north wind, it's not too humid, mixture of clouds and sunshine. Closest thunderstorms probably will be along the state line with Ohio this evening. During the day tomorrow, patchy fog first thing in the morning, maybe patchy dense fog, watch for that. 87 tomorrow, warmest day within the 7-day forecast, but just competitive with today and yesterday. Then on Sunday, we start to change things. There's a strong storm potential in the northern third of the state during the day tomorrow. But again, most of us will stay dry. There's the 7-day forecast, and as the rest of this is unveiled, you can see temperatures over the next 7 days will cool next week into the 50s for lows and 70s for highs, maybe 80 Tuesday, 81 on Wednesday. Those are pretty nice conditions. It's time to hear more from 16th and Georgetown.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV Trackside, streaming now.
Day first, Brad Brown back live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, WRTV Trackside tonight, wrapping up Fast Friday. Tony Kanaan is huddling up with his engineers right now.
Got some work to do.
All the Chevy guys have a lot of work to do.
It's really interesting to watch this all pan out when they come and do this, because there aren't teams from Honda working harder. They're not smarter than the Chevy guys. It's just mechanical right now, and it's got to be frustrating.
Horsepower is everything right now. That's what Fast Friday is all about. Turn up the boost, more horsepower, more speed. Take a look at Ryan Hunter-Reay. A lot of these guys went out early, and they were pretty nice about it. They let one car go out, then another car, then finally everybody's got to go out. But Ryan Hunter-Reay with the fastest no-toe speed at 232.124 miles an hour. Hunter-Reay, oh yeah, he's a former series champion and an Indy 500 champion. He's looking good right now.
And he set that in the first 40 minutes of practice today. Early, cooler, a good sign of probably what we'll see for qualifying here on Saturday.
Perhaps a good sign for Honda as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like some games are being played. You know, you never trust it as a driver, and we'll see though. One thing's for sure, the competition was super strong in race trim, but we'll see. It's a little bit strange at the moment, but it's going to be a bit hotter tomorrow, so I think it's going to become more difficult on qualifying day.
Tell you what, though, the Honda guys, HPD, American Honda, they're going to take it right now, because look at this. These are all non-toe. Marco Andretti, by the way, the fastest, did that in the draft, though, 233.491 miles an hour. But you got Hunter-Reay. Dixon popped off a big one late in the heat of the day. That was pretty impressive. Rossi, Marco's in there, Marcus Ericsson, James Hinchcliffe. Honda making up the top 9, and if that holds true tomorrow, that means the Fast 9 on Sunday will be all Honda. Lock it up. They're going to win pole on Sunday.
0 chances for Chevy potentially on Sunday to hit those first 3 rows. Disappointing for them for sure, but by the time we get to the following Sunday, it's just hard to tell at this point.
It's interesting. Marco Andretti, he had a great tweet before the day started. He says, I'm going to make somebody upset at the end of the day. He said either he's going to make, his strategist, Brian Herta, upset because he's not going to be out there by himself, but he wants to pop off a big speed, and that's what Grandpa Mario would want to see.
Yeah, 233 came early in the day as well. Big smiles down there for Mario for sure, but really impressive performance from the whole Andretti team so far.
Tony Kanaan has mentioned he turned 31 laps today. His quickest was 229.780. He's huddling up with his engineers right now. He called me the other day. I cannot do the show. I need to kind of chill right now and talk to my engineers. So we'll see what they have in store. By the way, the pill draw just happened. It wasn't an actual pill draw. It was all by a coin.
They go coins now, yes.
TK will go off 29th in qualifying tomorrow. Number 1 is?
Takuma Sato will go off.
Graham Rahal.
Graham number 1 and Taku number 2. So the Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan guys will be the first 2 out tomorrow. Prime positions in the cool of the day.
Yeah.
Chance to put a big number up early and see where we go.
Spencer Piggott is a top 10 qualifier as well. So all those Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan guys are going to go off early when qualifying begins at 11 a.m. All right, let's hop in the hot tub time machine, shall we?
Do it.
Let's go back 30 years ago. The Indy 500 is all about history. Ari Leyendijk, hard to believe it's now been 30 years since Ari won his first Indy 500. Did it, of course, in that Domino's Pizza Chevrolet. Led twice for 35 laps. Edged out Bobby Rahal by some 10 seconds. Remember the flowing locks? Remember Ari? I mean, he was our driver analyst here at WRTV with Ed Sorensen. Well, I caught up with Ari today. Look at him now. Hard to believe it's been 30 years, Ari.
I know, it's crazy, right? 30 years ago, I was talking to some other people about it, like, what happened in the meantime? I mean, a lot has happened, but you forget so much, but I'll never forget that day.
We're a little older, a little grayer sometimes.
Yeah, so. Look at them, like white. Well, the speeds are up. I was just looking at the guy in 20th is doing 2:30, right. And the guy in first 2:33, so, I mean, it's really close, and it's going to be exciting. It's just too bad no fans will be there to watch it, but hopefully on TV a lot of people will be.
Great to catch up with Ari.
First of all, if I had that much hair, I would do that, and looks fantastic.
He's gone the white silver fox.
Looking good.
The news at 6 continues after this.
Thanks for joining us. Join us for the news at 7.